Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com. I'm so happy to be in the studio and here with you today. Thank you for watching. I have a really fun project for us today that I think will also make a lovely stocking stuffer. If you're able to put a gift card or some cash inside of it, it could just make a wonderful gift as well. This is a remake of my mini wallet. And here's what that looks like. And what's so cool about it is there are two sides. And then I have incorporated two snap flap closures. And each side has little accordion expanders so that you can overstuff those compartments. So we are going to get started sewing this today. I'm going to show you step by step how to make it. Thank you to everybody that has been purchasing the design boards. I plan to continue creating a design board for every tutorial, and we'll continue to offer you those design boards in 2021. Basically, the design board is a PDF document that has all the pattern measurements in it and then very concise written instructions. So if you would like to collect the patterns as we go and save those to your computer or print them out and perhaps put them in a design notebook, that's definitely the way to go. I'll put a link down in the notes for you and you can purchase that for a very nominal fee. All right, so shall we get started sewing? Okay, so for this project, you're going to need 4 rectangles of cotton or home decor fabric that measure 4.5 by 7.5 inches, and then you're going to need a 4-inch by 7-inch piece of Decoville Light or another interfacing of your choice for each of the exteriors. And you want to be sure to cut that Decoville Light smaller than the actual body panel so that you can keep it out of the side seams. And then you are also going to need 4 smaller rectangles that measure 2.25 inches by 5 inches. And then you're going to need 2 snaps to close up those flaps on each side. And so what you want to do first, after you attach your Decoville to the back of your exterior, is position the exterior and interior panels right sides facing, and you'll have 2 sets of those. I already have one pre-crafted for the sake of time. And so you're going to stitch around 1 short side and 2 long sides. Use a very narrow seam allowance as close as you can get to that edge without going over. I'm coming in at about 1/8 of an inch here, it looks like. It might be 1/4 of an inch. And then with your 4 smaller rectangles, you're going to press those right sides facing so that you end up with a piece that's approximately 2.25 inches by 2.25 inches, and you're going to just stitch down those sides, same scant seam allowance, and then you're going to turn all of these little panels right sides out and press them very well. I like to use a turning stick there and poke out those corners good. Just be careful not to poke too much and break through that seam allowance because it is very narrow. And then after you get them all turned around, you're going to give them a really good press, and you're going to turn those raw edges inward anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 an inch. Go with the least amount of turn that you can and still obtain a nice crisp straight edge. And so after you press it, the body panel should look like this, and you'll have that raw edge tucked inside of there. Then go ahead and stitch along there to close that up. In total, you'll have 2 of those larger body panels. And at this point, all your raw edges should be encased, and you just have that little bit of top stitching across the top there. And so where you top stitched is going to become the pocket for the little wallet there. And so you want to fold that edge up about 2.5 inches and go ahead and press that. And all you're really aiming for right now is just that press line. And so you want to repeat that with your second body panel. And it is pretty important that these remain the same size, so you want to get that press line in the same spot. So I like to line mine up next to each other and make sure that they are both the same height there, and the pockets are level if at all possible. If you have to compromise on the height of the pocket, but not on the actual height from the fold of the pocket to the top. Okay, hopefully they are the same size though, and you don't have to make any compromise. So go ahead and press in that second line there, and then stitch across that press line. And then you're going to position the front sides facing there, lining up those press lines there, and just go ahead and stack that little pile on your work surface there. So you have one panel with the right sides up and the second panel with the right sides down, and you're aligning those little stitch lines that you just put in. And then you're going to take these little accordion folds, or the smaller rectangles, and you're going to layer those on each side there. And so one will go on the front, and I want you to stagger the folded edges. So like if the folded edge is against that edge on this top part, you'll put the edge that's not folded on the bottom, and that's just going to minimize that bulk, because that fold is obviously 4 layers of fabric, and so you kind of want to stagger that. And so you're going to put those little accordions on in line with that stitch line that you put in, and you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side and just alter which one ends up with the open end there that has the 4 folds of fabric. And the clips are so fabulous for this type of a project because it can really grip a lot of fabric. Okay, so now you have something that looks like this. Now you're going to go ahead and stitch right above those folds through the 2 layers of fabric, and that's what's going to attach the top there and create those flaps. So just come in right above those accordions, but do not stitch through the accordions. So I just put my machine foot on that fabric, line up the left edge with that accordion, and stitch all the way across. And then the next step is to stitch down the edge of each accordion stack there. So you're going to be stitching through the accordion, the 2 body panels, and the opposite accordion. And so I just get that all up under the foot, and then once that foot is on there holding everything in place, then I remove the clips and just take a second and realign anything that might have shifted. And you're just using a very narrow seam allowance here. Okay, and now you have something that looks like this. The 2 flaps at the top there, and then each side has little accordion winglets there. And then towards the bottom, you have another little flap area there. And so now this part here at the top where you stitched across is going to be the actual top of the wallet. So you're going to raise up the bottom of the wallet here, and you kind of have to turn this a little bit, and you want to attach these accordions to the opposite side. And once I get that clipped for you, you'll be able to see a little better what I'm trying to do here. And so you do the same thing. You just take this edge here of the accordion and you line it with that edge of the bottom of that body panel there. And that brings that pocket up and then creates the depth there and makes the pocket expandable. So you can see better now how that works. And then you do the same thing on the opposite side. So you're just folding that up, and this edge is the edge with the open sides there. I think it would be difficult to do this project with just pins, so I highly suggest that you invest in a set of clips. And I just want to say thank you to my friend Gloria for sending me these clips. She's so super thoughtful. Always has such a positive attitude. She makes me smile every time I see her over on the Patreon. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and you can really see that taking shape now and how that's going to look. And so now you just need to stitch along the opposite edge of each accordion and attach that. And so this is a very tiny little project, so you're going to need to push all that fabric back and just go nice and slow. Okay, and then you should definitely have something that looks like a little wallet, and the sides are expandable like that. And so the last step is to attach your snap closures to this. And so I like to attach the decorative part to the flap there, and that has the little solid head on it, and I just center that. So in this case it's going to be right at the 2-inch mark, and it's only coming up about a 1/4 inch from the top of that flap. And then I use that same turning stick to just poke those prongs up, and then I rest the female portion of that snap, which has a little hole in the center right on top of those prongs, and then just make sure it's centered and stable. And then I just use a tiny little hammer, and then the male portion of the snap fits inside of that. And then you can close that flap over, and I like to then take the prongs and just kind of lift that up and peek and poke those prongs for the remaining part of the snap there through that fabric. So then I can come in under inside that pocket and poke those prongs up in about the right location. And again, this turning stick is so useful. It just really saves your fingers. So once you get those prongs poked up through there, then do one more quick test fit there, and you should just be able to press your finger right on that, and the snap should feel nice and level. And then I just hold that down. Be careful not to whack your fingers, and just repeat that process for the other side, and your sweet little wallet is complete. The finished measurements on that are approximately 2.5 inches tall by 4 inches wide. You can probably fit a little lip gloss in there. Depending how well you fold, you might be able to put your face mask in there, and then you got room for your cards and cash on the opposite side. I really love it. I could see this being super useful and a very nice gift for anyone on your Christmas list. You could even do this in a more masculine fabric, and I think the guys would like it just as well. So I will be back next Tuesday, 2 o'clock, with another tutorial. We're going to revisit my 7 chakras messenger bag, and we're going to do something a little different with this style. I really love this bag. In fact, it's so beautiful. I may switch into this bag today and carry it around to do some Christmas shopping this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the project. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week for the 7 chakras bag. I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I also want to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this tutorial. We are getting really, really close to 50,000 subscribers. And then we're going to have a big celebration, and that celebration is going to coincide with my 50th birthday. So it is sure to be a lot of fun. I'd love to have you join us. And again, just click that subscribe button and you will receive notification of the party and an exclusive invite to that celebration. So I hope you all have a beautiful week. Please stay safe, stay well, and as always, know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Thank you for sewing with me.